begin. For my God, it's time for us to protect and defend.
Hi, I'm Father Michael Orsi. I'm your host on Action for Life, that unique and different kind of TV program, because this is about the good news with a capital G, the good news of Jesus Christ, shining through the darkness in a world that is dark, a world that talks about a culture of death. We talk about the culture of life, and the small g, the good news about how many people who have been touched by the Holy Spirit, who are doing great things to confirm the fact that we are made in the image and likeness of God. We are His children, and what we do to preserve human life in every aspect. Sometimes people think that, pro-life people are just until the baby is born. Not on this show. This is from, conception till natural death. And over the weeks, you've been watching this program, and you're meeting some tremendous people, really charismatic people who have taken the gospel message so seriously that they are out there and they are working for life from infancy all the way up through old age. Wonderful organizations. You're going to hear about some organizations that work on the cause of life, and also some of the guests that we have who have dedicated themselves to helping people, because we are all of God's children. Now, over these weeks, you've been watching the TV show. I hear great comments from people, but I'm going to encourage you to go to our website, actionforlife.net, and please, make comments. Let us know what you think, and let us hear from you. What you have to say, it's important to us. And you know what? If we only hear from you by check, I will be delighted. So take the hint, gang. We need your support, your prayers. We need your financial support, too. Today, I have a friend of mine here in the studio. We know each other for a long time. I know her from her days in law school, and she is a medical doctor also. So she's combining medicine and the law, because she said she needs the law in order to help her with her work as a medical doctor. Her name is Dr. Julie James Asuzu. Julie, my friend, what a pleasure.
Thank you, Father, for having me here today.
Julie has a wonderful story. It's a different kind of a story, because it begins back in Africa, in a place that some of us heard about. It goes all the way back to 1967. The story about the Holocaust, really, in Biafra, in Africa. Now it's part of Nigeria. And Dr. Julie was there as a young girl. So could you tell us something about that?
Yes. I want to begin about how I got here. As you do know, I was born in Africa,
yes,
and I was born in Biafra and raised in Biafra. And at the age of 3 months, actually, my parents separated, and my grandparents raised me. I was one of those children that, if you may, was spoiled by my grandparents. So I had a very good childhood. But unfortunately, as you said, that childhood was thrown into chaos in 1967, when Biafra and Nigeria went into a civil war. 3 million people were killed, just like Father said, and among them were 1 million children, just like me.
1 million children, and you witnessed some of that carnage.
Yes, Father, I did. Remember, it was I was 4 years, and this war lasted until I was 7 years. So I was actually part of the starving children of Biafra, and I watched these children slowly lay down to go to sleep, but only to not wake up just because they were starved to death. Now, this method of starvation was used to subdue the Biafrans to actually surrender during the war. And that was, in a sense, you would say that those kids paid the price of peace with their lives.
Okay. Then you you know, you saw this, you felt this. Any members of your own family that you witnessed that were the victims?
Yes, actually, one of my uncles went to war. He was about maybe 10 years older than I was at the time. And by the time he was 16 years old, he volunteered and went to war. We were very close. His name was Blaise, and he never returned. It was like we were waiting for him to come back, but he never came back. But he was young. He was 16.
Now, Dr. Julie, you had witnessed this, you saw this, and then you came to America. Can you tell us, how did that happen? And then when you got to America, what did you do?
After the war, I continued my education. Unfortunately, my grandfather, who was the sole provider of the family, died. Luckily, my aunt stepped in and paid for my tuition and fee. Now, you got to understand, back then, young girls were not allowed to go to school.
Right.
So why it was not traditional for a girl to attend school, I graduated at the age of 15. After my graduation, I was very lucky to get a job as an international flight attendant. That job gave me the opportunity to come to the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, this country that has given me everything that I now have. And as you mentioned, I'm a medical doctor, graduate of the Penn State University College of Medicine, currently studying law here in Florida. Additionally, I'm a motivational speaker, an author. You mentioned, we'll talk about my book.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about your book a little later on. The name of the book, just so the folks can hear it right now, is Every Child is a Blessing. And, you know, not only did Dr. Julie have that experience in Biafra, she came here, she studied at Penn State.
Penn State University College of Medicine,
Medical doctor. And then, during her stay at Penn State, she had a personal experience. She became pregnant. You had 2 children already, correct? And the 3rd one was on the way. And something happened that Dr. Julie is going to share with us, and it's going to show you why she's concerned about the preservation of life as she is, as a doctor, and then to use her legal skills to help other people that are in need, not only in this country, but also in Africa, too.
Yes. Father, from the experience I had in Biafra, I came to the conclusion that every life is precious and must be preserved under every circumstance.